From Relay, this is Upgrade, episode 580 for September 9th, 2025. Today's show is brought to you by Fitbod, Oracle, 1Password, and ExpressVPN. My name is Mike Hurley, and I am joined by Jason Snell. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. It was iPhone Day.
It is iPhone Day. As we record this, it's just iPhone Day.
Was and is. I'm actually going to jump in with a Snell Talk from me.
Okay.
Snell Talk question this week, Jason, is from me to you, and then I can also talk about me too. How was your keynote viewing experience today?
Well, unusually for me, versus past iPhone events, the smaller crowd. The dog was there. Cat came by.
Oh, nice. Did they scratch up the leather seats in the Steve Jobs Theater or something?
No, they did not. But I got to drink as much tea as I wanted during the broadcast, which was kind of nice. And even during one of the videos, I went to the bathroom. So
you love to see
it was just freedom, sweet freedom. And as we are recording this, I'm not in the hands-on area, which means I don't get my hands on these products, but it also means I don't have to have the unbelievable stress of being in a very chaotic hands-on area. So I'm going to make the best of it. And in the end, it's a video we all watch together on the internet.
Absolutely, it is. Yes. So you're at home today. I'm here at the studio. I've had a fun day. I actually will say live in studio guest who's busy working is _David Smith. I'm sure. Who's downloading and uploading over there in the corner.
That's great. And listening to half a podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can hear me right now. I think you might be like totally locked in. Like it's impossible to know.
Sounds like Dave.
Yeah. I hope he can't hear me because this would actually suck. Like just to hear me every now and then say a bunch of things. But the live stream says hi to _. I will know if he's listening to me if he turns around to wave. He isn't. No. So good news for everybody.
But you
he's double thumbs up. Hang on, he's got his AirPods in, which might mean he is attempting to listen to the show right now, and he's just gone red. So this is good news. Good news from everyone. Everyone's favorite _. is here live in the studio.
Excellent.
We had a good time. We had a good time watching together. Let's move on and score the draft.
Okay, let's do it. This was a wild one, and I want to just say that as the person who doesn't have to adjust his pennant because I lost again, Mike, our drafts are really close every time. Like every time. That's the thing is I would feel better about it if you just beat the pants off of me, but it's like how many of them have been tiebreakers? How many of them have been 1 point? And this one is there are the weirdest shadings here, but the ultimate endorsed score by all involved is 9-8 in your favor.
Yep.
I finally got the tiebreaker right.
Congrats, everyone.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so you want to go through it? I can go through it.
Yeah, this was super close, one, I think.
Yeah.
And so I like it when it's super close. It means that we know what we're doing. And what I would say, too, is this one, we made it harder for ourselves, I think, still. So,
yeah,
for
sure.
We're doing what we can.
For sure. Yeah. Also, if we didn't do the St. Jude challenge, I would have won. But alas, we did the St. Jude challenge because it's my sacrifice for the kids.
Yep.
So, what we got right is all of the iPhone picks, which is interesting. I said there'd be a C modem in another phone. The iPhone Air has a C modem. Apple introduces a replacement for fine woven. They did it in the Pro phones with tech woven. The iPhone Air is the thinnest iPhone ever, but not as thin as the iPad Pro, which is absolutely where it is.
Good pick.
The Apple logo on an iPhone is shifted. It is in that second area on the iPhone Pro. So that's 4 for 4. And you had iPhone Pro models feature aluminum on the back, not just glass. Oh, yes, they do. iPhone Air has a single camera on the back. Now, I'm going to give this to you, even though Apple would like us to believe that this single camera is many cameras because it's one camera.
Yeah.
iPhone cases feature lanyard attachment. That whole crossbody strap thing counts, we decided, and I think that's only fair. Well, I mean, is the crossbody strap a lanyard? I mean, it doesn't matter. The iPhone Pro Max has an increased zoom on the tetraprism lens. Now, there's another pick later that I feel like is balanced out by this one, but I would say that if I was trying to throw myself on the feet of the jury, I would say what happened in the iPhone Pro and Pro Max. The Pro Max, by the way, basically not mentioned. It's mentioned one time in passing.
I was like, oh, when are they going to get to the Pro Max? And Dave's like, oh, no, they did it already.
When are they going to get to the fireworks factory? Because it's just a big Pro. It's just a big Pro, and there's nothing else different about it, which is surprising, I think, a little bit. But increased zoom on the tetraprism lens, I should have seen this coming, and this is, I mean, it's a very good pick on your part, and in hindsight, it's an even better pick, because by taking the zoom camera up to 48, it means that they get an optical 24 megapixel mode, like they have on their other 48 megapixel cameras, where they crop the sensor and only use the inner 24. So what happened here, it's amazing. You made an increased zoom pick. We can talk about it more later, but you made an increased zoom pick. Just to be clear, the tetraprism lens only does 4x now. But if you crop to the 24 optical sensor pixels in the middle of that 48 megapixel sensor, it's 8x effectively. And so you get it. I think you get it because it is increased zoom, because it's 8x. That's more than 5x, even though they actually, so just kind of amazing. But that's shenanigans. Apple does shenanigans, and I think you
honestly
captured it.
Never have guessed this. Like I don't, like the function is essentially the same, right? It's like in the same way that I think even on the last episode we were saying that like that cut in, it is actually still a telephoto, even though it's done in a weird way, you know? But yeah, it's like, I wouldn't have thought that they would do it this way. Like you said, if you would have thought about it, like there's no world in which I would have thought this.
Our chat room says optical 12, although and then that's true. It's optical 12 because it's the center part and it's multi-dimensional. But anyway, so they basically get a thing out of it. I tell you, Mike, if somebody had whispered in my ear last week, think about the ramifications of a 48 megapixel sensor on the zoom lens, I would have probably come up with it, because it would have been like, because then they crop it and then double what they claim the zoom is. Anyway, you got it. So that's 4.4. Pretty good. Yep. Apple Watch. I had Apple Watch Ultra 3 gains communication via satellite. Got it. I said the Apple Watch Ultra 3 gets a new chip. Friends, sometimes the upgrade draft rules are painful because we focus on the event and not the details on Apple's web pages. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 does have a new chip, but it was never mentioned, not even on a slide. Why you would not mention that the Apple Watch Ultra 3 has a better processor than the Ultra 2, I don't know. The geniuses at Apple.
All the other watches got it, and they took time to mention it for everyone. I mean, the tell was that it has 5G. Right, that was what was like. I assume that there's something related there, possibly. Like I don't know. That was my assumption, but they didn't mention it.
They didn't mention it. So okay, Apple introduced a feature you said that scores your sleep or vitals. They did. There's a sleep score, as was rumored, and you got it. And Apple Watch Ultra 3 gets a bigger screen, and it did. It goes further out without making the Ultra actually bigger. So now they can say again, after an embarrassing year where the Series 10 had a bigger screen than the Ultra now has a bigger screen, and it's the biggest screen on the Apple Watch. So that puts you up by 1. In the wild card picks category, where we could pick from anything, I said the iPhone Air base price is greater than or equal to the iPhone Pro base price. Now, here's where I went wrong, Mike. Is I should have said the current iPhone Pro base price, because then it would have been equal. But it's not, because they did the thing they do where they increase the specs and raise the base price, but they say, but at this price it's the same. They're basically saying, it's the same price as the increased spec last year, but what it is effectively a $100 price increase for the iPhone Pro of the base price.
I missed that. Because I can never remember how much anything costs, like in these moments. There's too many numbers, and they don't want you to think about it either.
Yeah, iPhone Pro was $999. Now it's $1099, but it comes with more storage, and so they're saying it's not really a price increase, even though it is, because if you bought the base model, you can't buy that one now, and you have to go up to $1099, and the Air is at $999. And by doing those shenanigans, I don't get that pick. I also said no new health sensor on the Apple Watch, which is great, because there's a new health feature based on sensors, which is hypertension, but it doesn't have a new sensor.
Good pick. That was a good pick.
Yeah, so I was happy about that one. Yeah. You said iPhone Air has an always-on display. iPhone regular has an always-on display, pretty wild, and ProMotion, pretty wild. But definitely the Air does it, so that's really good. And then you said dual camera recording on the iPhone Pro. Now, this is the flip side of the tetraprism, which is, it is obvious. It would be obvious to literally anyone who watched Apple's video that the iPhone Pro can do the same thing that all the other iPhones can do when they introduce the dual camera recording feature, right? It would seem obvious that that feature exists on the iPhone Pro, but they didn't mention it for the iPhone Pro. They didn't mention it in the video at all. So that one's going to be marked as a down. I feel like between the arguably yes and the arguably no, I think it evens out pretty well there.
Rules. That's the rules.
Those are the rules. And again, if I had gotten the chip in the Apple Watch, you would have gotten. I think I haven't looked at that web page, but I think you would have gotten dual camera recording, right? I think if we had dug into the web pages, it would. But it doesn't matter. So in the end, it came down to the St. Jude challenge. But that's okay because you also got the St. Jude challenge. So edge to edge was said, and I got 4 points for that, and you got 3. Most advanced camera ever. Nobody said. Aerospace grade aluminium got a point. World's most popular headphones got a point. And if you're looking at the transcript, the first time they say it, they don't quite phrase it that way, but then they just say world's most popular headphones.
Okay, it wasn't edge to edge that said it was thinnest iPhone ever.
Oh, sorry, thinnest iPhone ever, 4-3. We missed on edge to edge.
Yep.
Right. So that gave me 4, which means 40 points to Steven, and you got 5, which is 50 points to you for the St. Jude challenge.
And just for noting, gorgeous colors was also said, but we didn't. Neither of us put any votes behind that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of St. Jude and the St. Jude challenge, this month is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and that's why we're raising money for the kids of St. Jude, as we do every year. Since our first campaign way back in 2019, we've raised over $4 million as a community for the kids of St. Jude. And we want to add even more to that total, and every one of our listeners can be a part of helping us achieve that. In April 2025, St. Jude announced that childhood cancer medicines have been delivered to 5 countries: Mongolia, Uzbekistan, Ecuador, Nepal, and Zambia. This effort is part of the Global Platform for Access to Childhood Cancer Medicines, which is a collaboration between St. Jude, the World Health Organization, and their other global partners. The initiative aims to reach more than 120,000 children in 50 countries over the next 7 years. This is just one of the many things that we love about St. Jude and what they do for the kids all over the world. Like, it's, they obviously treat kids incredibly at their facilities in Memphis, but their reach extends globally, and that's just one of the many things that we love about what they do. And we want to invite you to continue the incredible generosity that you've shown over the last 7 years and make a donation to support the life-saving mission of St. Jude. Donors who make an individual gift of $60 or more will be eligible to redeem a digital bundle of campaign-themed wallpapers and a screensaver. Donors making a gift of $100 or more can redeem the 2025 sticker pack, which features 6 all-new host stickers, including me and Jason. There's a ton of other things I want you to know about. So, if you make a donation, you can click the blue Search Employer button on the donation summary page to see if your employer will match your gift, because that can double your gift. You can learn more about donor-advised funding at stjude.org/relay, where you can also find out information about signing up to register to fundraise yourself with a community fundraising campaign. Help give them more tomorrows. Go to stjude.org/relay to donate or start your own fundraiser today. I had to jump in there because it was like the perfect segue.
Yeah, but we're not done scoring because you cropped out 2 categories.
No, didn't you mention it, or was it just from my screenshot?
No, you welded 2 screenshots together and omitted it. It put you ahead by more points, and then I tried to count, and we didn't have enough points. So I went back to upgrade.cards, as administered by Zoe Knox, and the other picks category. AirPods Pro 3 includes some health monitoring sensors. Yeah, heart rate sensors. I got that pick. And I also picked AirPods Pro 3 have improved noise canceling, and they do. It's 2X or it's 4X or it's lots of X's. You picked AirPods Pro 3 have a new design, and although they don't look that different, they are a new design for sure.
I didn't think I was going to get this, and then they spent a ton of time talking about it. And I was
about the shapes of ears and how they move things around. Yeah. And AirPods improved audio quality as a microphone is mentioned. It was not mentioned.
No.
Now, in our Discord, people are talking about the spacecraft titanium. I believe it was spacecraft titanium. That's fine, but we didn't pick that. We picked aerospace grade aluminium, which they did say. So,
So there was two different things.
And again, literally one of those tipping the other way would have tipped it for me, but they did say aerospace grade, so I think that it goes to you. And the Discord seems to agree because I'm about to. I mean, yeah, we searched the transcripts. We checked it out. We picked too many things that this St. Jude challenge is actually very hard to score, so we should probably not do it this way again.
No, we can do it because the transcript's so easy to
transcript
search.
does help.
We just need to select fewer things.
Yeah, we do.
Select fewer things.
We do, and maybe designate somebody to be paying attention to the phrases and scoring it live. Although several
honest,
people did do it. Anyway.
I don't think we should worry about doing that. Like searching the YouTube transcript was really easy for me at the end, so
it was. That's what I did too. So, yeah, all right. So it's 9-8 to you. The pennants remain in place. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. What is your overall, before we jump into the products, do you feel the vibes good in this event? What do you think?
I do. I was actually thinking about how I think, okay, they did three things, right? Apple Watch, iPhone, and AirPods Pro. AirPods Pro doesn't get enough credit for being one of Apple's most popular products. It really is, and successful and good. And they did a good update to their most popular, I assume, AirPods model, the Pro, with a bunch of new designs. They're trying again to get it to fit better for everybody. They put foam in the little ear tips and all that. Like they're trying to do all of that. They've got their live translation they're trying anyway. It looks like a nice update for AirPods. With Apple Watch, I think the thing that I walked away from, the vibe there, was, boy, it's really nice to have millions and millions of sensors on people's bodies opted into studies so that they can build machine learning models to figure out the correlations, so they can use a heart sensor to determine that you might have hypertension. And that's one of those things where it's like, it really pays off to have all that data and to do all of that, the studying of the data. Because this is how they did the sleep apnea detection too, is they're not using new sensors. They're studying people's watch data and their outcomes and being able to infer from the watch data what the outcome is to a pretty decent enough degree of certainty to say you ought to talk to your doctor. And not to say you have this, but to say you might have this, talk to your doctor, which is, they said, we'll get to it, but they said like 1 million people are going to be diagnosed with hypertension because of this in the first year, which is a wild claim, but I have no doubt that they're right about that. And then the iPhone is Apple's most important product, and we talk about it a lot. It is by far Apple's most important product. And I think it's hard not to look at this and say that it's a pretty amazing upgrade cycle because, sometimes the Mark Gurman reports in Bloomberg give you the details, but you maybe fail to see the forest for the trees. And the nice thing about an Apple event is that their marketing has crafted a story around the product features that Mark Gurman talks about. And here with the Air, that's a really interesting product. And with the Pro, I think we didn't necessarily quite see the forest for the trees in terms of how dramatic a redesign of that phone it is, not just on the inside, but how it looks on the outside. Like, it looks much more striking than I thought it would be based on
the inside is a big deal too. Like, and this is something that wouldn't come from even the leaks that we see from the supply chains, is truly understanding the work that's gone into that it's not just a visual thing. There's more going on there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so I say vibes good because they did what they needed to, and they kind of did what they needed to across the categories. So, and some of their most important products. So, yeah, I think so. You think so?
I do, but I think we should get onto it, though, right? I want to talk about these products.
On to it.
This episode is brought to you by Fitbod. When you're looking to change your fitness level, it can be hard to know where to start. That is why I want to let you know that Fitbod is both an easy and affordable way to build a fitness plan that is just for you. Everybody has their own path to personal fitness. That is why Fitbod uses data to make sure they customize things to suit you perfectly. It will adapt as you improve, so every workout remains challenging, pushing you to make the progress you're looking for. Fitbod tracks your muscle recovery, so you'll avoid burnout, keep up your momentum, and you're going to have your workouts balanced correctly. It does all of this by making sure that it tracks your muscle fatigue and recovery. This will design a well-balanced workout routine for you because Fitbod knows that superior results are achieved when a program is tailored to your unique body, experience, environment, and goals. They build your best possible workout by combining AI and exercise science. Fitbod have analyzed billions of data points that have been fine-tuned by certified personal trainers, and you can be sure you're learning new movements the right way thanks to their more than 1,000 demonstration videos that are inside of the app. I love these videos because they make it so easy for me to learn new exercises. So when I get to a point where I'm like, oh, hey, here's something new, I'm going to learn something new, but I'm not sure how to do this movement. Or like, what does it mean when they say move my leg here, move my arm here? You can just watch the video and see how it's done. I love that. It gives me the confidence that I need to perform the exercise. Their app as well is just great to use. You can stay informed with Fitbod's progress tracking charts, weekly reports, and sharing cards. This lets you keep track of your achievements and personal bests and share them with your friends and family, and it integrates with your Apple Watch, Wear OS smartwatch, and apps like Strava, Fitbit, and Apple Health. Personalized training of this quality can be expensive, but Fitbod is just $15.99 a month or $95.99 a year. But you can get 25% off your membership by signing up at fitbod.me/upgrade. So go now and get your customized fitness plan at fitbod.me/upgrade. That is fitbod.me/upgrade for 25% off your membership. Our thanks to Fitbod for their support of this show and Relay. Let's start by talking about the iPhone Air, which was not a One More Thing product. It was actually the middle. It was shown off at the point in the iPhone section where it is in the iPhone lineup. I was wondering, we were wondering, how would this product be priced, and it is actually still priced. I think, I don't know, somewhat unbelievably to me, in that $9.99 spot. I think the amount of time and care they took about talking about this product, I really thought they were going for like a jewel in the crown kind of thing, which I still think it actually does serve as that.
It is up from the Plus, which was $8.99, right? So they did. It is a slot increase. It's taking that base model Pro slot for a named Pro.
It remains in that spot in the lineup, but the price is more expensive. Right.
Yeah, if you want to view it as the replacement for the Plus, it goes up 100, as does the Pro. The base model goes up 100. Also, interesting little quirk: it's iPhone Air, not iPhone 17 Air.
Yeah. So to me, this suggests that maybe there's only one of these. I don't know. Like there might only be one of these because maybe next year it's the Fold. Like they don't go with 5. I don't know, or maybe who knows.
We'll see.
I can't work this out, like why they've done this. Maybe they feel like it's I was going to say maybe it's far enough away from the 17, but no, it shares a lot of it shares things from all over the lineup. You know, like it's odd to name it this way, but fun at the same time.
Could be a similar approach to the Apple Watch Ultra, where they just say, why don't we just call
iPhone
this
Air 2?
iPhone Air 2 next time, and just do it like that, and have it be different, and have it be, they can update it some years and not other years or whatever, and it allows them, it certainly allows them to defer that decision for a year. So
yeah,
fair enough.
Okay, that could be the case. Right, this is 5.6 millimeters, the thinnest iPhone ever. It's still a couple of, I think it's like a half a millimeter or something thicker than the iPad Air. iPad Pro, I should say. So but that's super thin. 6.5-inch display, super thin bezels that feature ProMotion and always on. This is like, I think all of the phones have ceramic shield too on both sides. I believe the iPhone 17 has that too, right? I'm scrolling through pages now.
Well,
yes.
I'm not...
Oh no, okay, 17 is just on the front. But the Air and the Pro, they have it on both sides, which is it's more scratch resistant, more break resistant. The quote iconic Plateau, as they call it.
It's the iconic Plateau. Now we have I would say, let's stop calling it other things. It is a plateau. That is the chosen metaphor by Apple. You don't have to call it iconic if you don't want to.
But they will, though. It's the iconic Plateau. Surprisingly, there's a bunch of stuff up there. It's all up there. The whole phone is up in the Plateau, right? Like they got chips and sensors and all kinds to make space for the battery. We were wondering, like, what is this going to be? And I think that maybe is more than we would have expected.
Yeah, it is a trend now. Also, I thought this was actually kind of fitting because it's a little bit like the MacBook Air, where you can't believe that they put the whole computer in that little teeny tiny space, and that's exactly what's going on here. Is they seem to have loaded most of the phone into the sensor, what we've considered the sensor bar, which you really need to consider like an iconic Plateau, or non-iconic if you choose, because it seems like basically the camera, the front and back cameras, and the brains of the thing are all in there, and then the rest of the phone is screen and battery, which is a pretty interesting. I guess not surprising when you think about it. Like, this is the extra space part, and you can make the space here and make the rest of the phone thinner and thinner, and put just screen and battery, and that's all. You're taking advantage of the extra square, the volume of it, because the screen is so large, to put a little bit of battery behind it. That's the best place to do that. But then you can put the brains just behind the little, Plateau. I guess I got to say it, Plateau. So I think that's really, I think it's really interesting. This is also the premiere of, it's across the line. I'd like to talk about it now, which is the new center stage, front-facing camera, the selfie camera.
Okay. Yep.
I didn't think I would be like, selfie camera. We remember the Slofies. Remember those?
Good times.
This is a big deal, because I know that they said how many people take selfies, how many selfies get taken on the iPhone.
500 billion?
500 billion a year. Yeah. But it is huge, because what did they do? It's 48 megapixels. It's ultra wide. It's square, right? No, right? Mm-hmm. It's square.
Yeah, the sensor
it's not 48.
Square, yeah.
It's not 48. I'm getting
24.
It's
24 megapixels.
Isn't it 18? I think it's 18 megapixels, the front-facing camera. 18 megapixels.
We're doing our best here, folks.
Yeah, no. I'm just, the problem here is that we're not going in show order, and they introduce things in a different order. So we're trying to put it together. 18 megapixels, square sensor. So what do you get with that? They put center stage in it, right? All right.
Yeah.
What that means is, sure, if it's on a stand, but it also means that they've got this next generation hand, right? Because it's not meant to be on a stand. Handheld, where it's going to lock onto your face and stabilize you when you're talking to somebody while you're walking around holding your phone, doing a FaceTime. Yep. If you've got a group of people, it will know that there's a group, and it's a group shot, and it will automatically adjust your selfie shot to have the group in it. That's really great. And because it's a square sensor, they've made it so you don't have to flip your phone sideways or right side up or whatever to get your orientation. You can take in any orientation because the sensor is square. It literally doesn't matter if you put your phone sideways or not to take a selfie. This is, there's especially people who roll their eyes at the entire concept of selfies, but I take them all the time. Most of my photos of me with my family are selfies because there's nobody around. So I will stand there, I've got the best iPhone and I've got the longest arm, so I hold it out at arm's length and I take a picture. This is a big deal. If 500 billion selfies last year doesn't give it to you alone, the idea that if you do a FaceTime, it's stabilizing your video and holding you in the center. They've got the other feature where you can record forward and back at the same time. And the point they made there that I thought was good and maybe a little subtle, so just to rephrase it, if you're taking video of action and your reaction to the action, what you don't want to do is be looking at your picture in the preview to make sure you're in frame while you're trying to video something that's occurring, right? You don't want to take yourself out of that moment. Well, the way this works, you focus on the moment, the kid on the basketball court in their example, and you can just have confidence that that center stage selfie camera is going to keep you in frame as you're shooting everything there. Even if you're sliding left and right, don't worry about it. It's going to keep you in frame. We'll have to see how it works in practice, but this is an enormous iPhone update, and it's for every iPhone because it's on not just the Air, but the standard 17 and the 17 Pro. I think I was surprised by this and surprised to be so enthusiastic about it, but it's really, it's got a huge amount of potential.
I think that this will sell iPhones. This feature will sell iPhones. I think it is something that's tangible, that people can see how it will fit in their life, and they're like, yeah, that's a good reason to upgrade.
I would say beyond that, not only will it sell iPhones, in 5 years, the way everybody takes a selfie will have completely changed from the way
I was
it is
thinking
now.
that too, because it's like obviously all of our selfies are portrait because it's just easier. But then if the phone is automatically changing it, I wonder how people will react to that too. Like, are people going to like that or not? It's going to be interesting.
Most of the selfies I take are landscapes because they're pictures of like me and Lauren or me and my whole family, and you want to get them all in there. And so that's the best way to do that. Instead of getting like 2 people's shoes, you get 4 people. But the fact that it will be able to detect the faces and do all of that for you,
just zooming out,
and flipping around your phone to get it the right orientation just ceases to exist with this. I think it's going to be, in the long run, if Apple just puts this on every single phone they make, it's going to be, and every single device they make, ultimately, I think it's going to be a real change for everybody. So this is a, low-key, huge shift in how people live their lives.
The iPhone Air is the only iPhone to still have titanium. It has a titanium frame, which is a polished titanium frame.
Spaceship grade.
Spaceship grade is everyone's favorite titanium. I will have no titanium unless it's ready for space. Thank you very much.
It's grade 5. Grade 5 is the 5th grade. That's when you reach space. Is you're up in the 5th. Well, why do they do this? Right? It's light and it's strong. And the titanium frame in the Air is so you don't bend it, right? Like it's very clear. Like that's their goal here. So titanium remains a material in the lineup. It's used here specifically because they want it to be as light as possible, but they also need it to be strong. So that's why they do it here. And polished, it's going to be shiny. It's going to be shiny.
The Air has, I guess it's pretty fair to say, the most Apple Silicon in any iPhone. It's got 3 Apple Silicon chips. It has the A19 Pro, which they said, obviously more efficient, fast. We'll come to specs later, right? Like later in the month when we can actually do some tests and do benchmarking or whatever. But they, our friend of the show, Tim Millay, said that MacBook Pro levels of compute in an iPhone, which is a wild thing to say. But as well as the A19 Pro, it has the N1 chip, which is Apple's wireless chip, which has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Thread, and the C1X chip. So it's not C2 yet, but this is a revised modem. It's 2 times faster than the C1, 30% less energy consumption. It's the most power efficient. They say most power efficient iPhone ever, not just the most power efficient chip. And they also say that the C1X modem is faster than the modem in the 16 Pro. You know what? As I say this, I wonder if, again, it's like because of the video, and I have to check, are these chips in the Pro phones too? Maybe not. I don't know. Like the N1 and the C1X.
That I don't know. C1X, I'm pretty sure, is not, right? That was never one of those reports that Apple was going to put that their own modem into all the iPhones. So my guess is that it's a slow rollout, right? They're slowly rolling it from the 16E to the Air, and then next year to the 18s. I think that's.
It's just funny to reference that this modem chip is faster than the 16 Pro, so it would probably be faster than the 17 Pro as well.
No. That's why they said 16 Pro and not 17 Pro. I think it's not faster than the 17 Pro. 17 Pro probably uses a newer Qualcomm chip than the.
Are they really
the
making? Like, I don't know. Like I don't follow Qualcomm news. Like, are Qualcomm really turning out new chips every year that much faster than the one before?
In terms of their 5G chips, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
Well, Qualcomm fans can tell us, but I thought it was interesting that, like, of course, it's faster than last year.
Qualcomm fans. All you Qualcomm heads out there. You're right.
All you Snapdragons out there.
That's so funny. Oh yeah, all you Snap heads. Let's hear from you. Battery life, all-day battery life. The battery life is less than the 17, which is probably the nearest compare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mike, usually when Apple talks about battery life, they talk about how many hours something gets.
Did
you notice?
Yeah.
Yes, they talk about hours. They don't talk about, it's all day. I mean, and the Apple Watches are like this too. It's like hours is a good way of measuring time, right? I think. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of hours and timekeeping. What did they say about the Air? They said all day.
Yeah.
That's a time, sort of. And they said, and you're like, as it's hanging in the air there, and you're thinking, no hours quoted. I wonder what that means. They as it's sitting there, they say, hey, guess what? We also have a battery case. And it's really thin, and it goes on the back. And if you've got the battery case on it, how long do you think it lasts? And the answer is 40 hours. We found ours again. Ours is returned. Somehow ours returned in that moment. And like, look, I'm sure it's going to be fine. And I'm sure that on the website they quote actual battery life, and I haven't looked at the website yet.
Hey, look, you know what, Jason? I'm looking right now. It's actually, I'm telling you, it's better than you think, the quoted numbers, right? So the iPhone 7...
27 hours of video playback.
Yes. The iPhone 16 Pro has 27 hours of video playback.
Okay.
So the iPhone Air's battery is, by Apple's stats, as good as the iPhone 16 Pro's battery, which is significantly better than I would have expected from this
in
device.
terms of the video playback rating, which isn't everything, but my point is not that it's going to be bad. My point is that isn't it something that Apple didn't mention it? Like they just omitted hours from that and then introduced a battery, and then they boasted about the hours that the battery adds.
Like,
it's just,
I don't know
it's
why
less. The point is it's less. The point is it's less because it's the super thin thing that's got a, really advanced, compact, dense battery, but it's still, they're trying to keep it light. And so it's just a thing to notice that they did not make a specific claim in their video for battery life for the iPhone Air.
What? I think that it is really weird to have not spoken about it if on the website the statistics seem so much better than the way they presented it in the video. Like saying all day, and then by the way, we immediately made a battery for this. It was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. But their statistics that they rate, I mean, unless it's bad in ways they don't talk about, right? But we just don't know yet.
Different profiles, right? Video playback is in some ways a very good profile for them because the video gets decoded in the chip with a custom decoder, and the frame rate is scaled because this is a ProMotion display to the frame rate of the video, so it's going to go down to 24 or 30 probably. So if you do something else with it, you can. That's the problem with measuring battery. There is no single way to measure battery. Apple does have a battery of tests that they do for battery life, and I'm just saying it's really interesting that they highlighted video playback, and then in the video they didn't talk about it at all. I would imagine that if you really punish the Air, it will not have as great a battery life as the Pro, and that's not surprising, and it's not a scandal, but it is something to be aware of because you're getting that's part of the trade-off of the super thin phone. Let's see, what else do I want to call out? It comes in 4 colors that are we're going to get to the good color news in a little bit, but the Air comes in. It made me laugh. They referred to the colors as being a palette of colors that evokes lightness.
Yep.
These are light colors, everybody. It's fine. They're space black, cloud white, light gold, and sky blue. I've got some questions
gold
about
sucks.
Black like space, white like cloud, gold like light, and blue like sky.
Light gold is so bad.
That's up there with my joke that I make about midnight lemon being a color. It's like light gold, the barest touch of gold. It's almost like it's not. It's almost like it's not there. Let
me tell you, if you're applying gold, never go light. Right?
Never go light with the gold.
Give me the gold. Give me it. I want it. This is an eSIM worldwide phone.
eSIM, I like, first off, that they took credit for it. We pioneered it, and now it's a global standard. And they're like, hey, it's great, and it's easy for travel, and it's available globally, and we've worked with every partner everywhere, and so you'll be able to buy this everywhere. Because the question about eSIM was always like, oh, in some countries they don't want you to get an eSIM. And for this one, they're like, well, this is the one where if you want this thing, you need to do eSIM. It's available globally. We've worked it out. Also they carded in the battery features from iOS 26 to talk about that as helping their power profile. I also want to give a shout out to John Turnus actually says, hey, you can watch all of For All Mankind.
Thank you. Great show. You should watch it.
Good job, John Turnus.
Obviously, we're rattling through specs and stuff here. I just want to say I think this phone looks fantastic. I'm very excited to see one and try it and use it. This phone looks so cool. I think it looks very exciting.
Oh no, I'm really excited by it. I will say though that where the rubber meets the road, if not in the battery, is going to be in the camera. And they did exactly what we expected, which is introduced a 40 megapixel fusion camera and then said, it might appear to be a single camera, but it works like multiple cameras in one. And they just kept cranking it up where it's like it's 2x telephoto with the photonic engine updated, right? Which is again, they're just carving out of the center of the sensor. They had a picture of waffles. John Turnus loves the waffles, these delicious waffles, he said. But it leads to a total of 4 lenses in your pocket for one lens. But that's Apple. That's what they're going to do. They're like, it's basically 4 cameras, even though it's just one camera. And I think some people who really prioritize the rear camera, that's going to be a reason not to get the Air. What's not as interesting is, the processor is the A19 Pro. It's got ProMotion. Like, it's got a lot of features that are also found in the iPhone Pro, but are also found in this. So what it comes down to, unless you're a big SIM card fan, maybe a Qualcomm fan and a SIM card fan together.
A snap head and a SIM head.
Yeah, they're together in the same household. Are you getting it yet? It's one person. That person hates this phone. But everybody else, I think it's going to come down to the cameras more than anything else.
Yeah. I think there are way fewer trade-offs in this phone than we had expected there to be. I think that this is I
agree.
Very compelling product that feels very premium.
In fact, I would say one of the things that's clever about this is, other than the cameras, if you're upgrading, which everybody is, from an older phone, it will feel pretty much like you're at home.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's got advances that help offset some of it. Other than, again, the camera is it's a real step back. And you know what? Some people are not going to care because we obsess about it. But I think a lot of people having the 2X and the 1X and the selfie side, they're going to be okay with it in exchange for a phone that looks very different.
It's going to be a really good camera. That's the thing, that the camera that it has is going to be really good.
That's the good
There's
camera.
Just fewer cameras in the system, and the ultra wide can be a problem in ways as well as it can be helpful. And I'm excited about the Pro's camera with the 48 megapixel ultra wide, which we'll get onto in a minute, 'cause I think that's going to make that a better scenario. But it's not always good to have all the cameras in some instances. So I'm very intrigued to try this. I think it is a very, very compelling looking product, and is worthy of the pomp and circumstance that they gave to it, I think.
I agree. Looks really good.
This episode of Upgrade is brought to you by Oracle. In business, they say you can have better, cheaper, or faster, but you only get to pick 2. What if you could have all 3 at the same time? That's exactly what Cohere, Thomson Reuters, and Specialized Bikes have since they upgraded to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. OCI is the blazing fast platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs, where you can run any workload in a high availability, consistently high performance environment and spend less than you would with other clouds. How is it faster? OCI's block storage gives you more operations per second. How is it cheaper? OCI costs up to 50% less for compute, 70% less for storage, and 80% less for networking. And finally, how's it better? Well, in test after test, OCI customers report lower latency and higher bandwidth versus other clouds. This is the cloud built for AI in all your biggest workloads. Right now, with zero commitment, try OCI for free. Head to oracle.com/upgrade. That's oracle.com/upgrade. A thanks to Oracle for their support of this show and Relay. So let's talk about the 17 Pro, the iPhone 17 Pro. I meant to mention in the Air, both of these videos, both of these sections were preceded by, I will say, new Johnny Ive videos. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're going to narrate to you, especially the Air one. That was the Johnniest of all. It was
that's I think Molly Anderson, who is a design VP, but she's got the Johnny Ive voice going on there.
Yep, but they were very modern, right? It wasn't just a talking head, but there was a narration. It was very good. I liked them. They were good tone setters. The thing about the 17 Pro, so I mentioned earlier about the redesign being quite significant inside as well as outside, is this isn't just they went back to aluminium. They have created a unibody aluminium enclosure for this iPhone, which is the first time they've done that. Obviously, we're used to unibody in the laptop line, and it is, with it, bringing lots of color. So there are 3 color options for this device. There is silver, an orange, and a blue. I am fascinated by if they put color in the Pro iPhone, they have to get rid of the black one. Is that the scenario? Like, is that what had to happen? It's odd, very odd.
Yeah, I wonder, is there a deal that they made with the devil that prevents the black? Well, black phone has to be there, or it needs to be gone. I mean, all the fans of the black phone, if they want to get this, I guess they'll get deep blue. It is very dark.
The silver looks really nice, I think, too, actually. I think all of these look really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I just got to say it, this is the best set of iPhone Pro colors in ages because they actually have colors. The silver looks nice. The deep blue, look, I can guarantee you, didn't get to see it, but I'm going to guarantee you it's going to be like Apple's other dark blues where it looks almost black.
Midnighty. It's midnighty.
It's going to be like that, I think. I don't think it's going to be anybody who wants a dark phone. I think it's there for you. And then, much to my surprise, because I had talked myself out of the idea, it's like, oh, they're not going to call it orange. It's not really going to be orange. It's going to be kind of a coppery, metally, kind of almost more gold than orange. And it's not. It is when you leave the space gray space, you enter cosmic orange. Again, haven't seen it in person, but it looks good.
Doesn't matter. This phone rules. It doesn't matter.
Looks so good. Looks so good. So they've got the giant
so many orange iPhones.
Yeah, they got the giant Plateau at the top, and then they've got a little thing that I have a wallet on the back of my phone. They've got this little space below it that looks like my wallet space. That's your MagSafe area, and that's where you do all that kind of stuff down there on the bottom part. And a lot of
probably
cameras.
Helps with some antenna stuff too. Maybe I know there's antenna lines, but maybe it helps.
Well, I think they said the antenna is around the Plateau is where they did it to improve, because this is the unibody aluminum iPhone, which is just a wild idea, but it kind of makes sense, right? For all the same reasons that a unibody computer might make sense. They get to make this thing in one piece, which just means it's going to be a lot more stable, and aluminum is really light and thin. And then by doing that and then building in the vapor chamber for cooling, the point they made there that I think is extra important is not just that they did the vapor chamber thing, that's whatever laser welded or whatever they said, but that it's using the heat transmission of the aluminum to help cool the phone, because with a metal back you can transmit heat across a wide area on the back, which means the individual like little small locations won't get as hot. It'll spread it around. We'll have to see again in practice what that means for the heat, because the iPhone 16 Pro definitely got hot. So we'll see how this does. But
I'm excited about that.
It's a redesigned heat spreading system with that unibody aluminum on the back. It's a really interesting collection of new features, right? That's the thing, is it feels like a new iPhone in a lot of ways. If you need to pay close attention to it, but I think the look is going to be striking because it is that anodized aluminum back, and then they've also got a ceramic shield on it. So like there's a lot going on there.
Before we move on, colors are fantastic. I'm so happy that they've done it.
Yes.
We've been asking for colors for so long. And also, Jason, let's go Giants.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go Giants.
Orange and black. Well, there's no black phone, but that's okay.
You get orange. A black wallet.
Come on. Yeah, baby.
Let's go Giants.
Let's go Giants. Thank you. Yes, orange, a good color. Love to see it. You love to see it.
They reference the best ever battery life in an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
It is funny to kind of like they just like forget about that one from earlier. This is the best ever. We love it. Oh man, do we love the battery in this one? We're gonna tell you all about the numbers.
Yeah,
we're gonna tell you all these numbers.
Let me tell you about the hours. So many hours.
Numbers, we got them up to 33 hours of video playback on the 17 Pro and 39 on the Pro Max.
On the Pro Max.
Pro Max, which I didn't really spend any time talking about.
It's just got a bigger battery, and otherwise it's the same.
Out there doing its thing.
So you got your wish, which is that they've got a 48 megapixel on all three rear cameras.
Yep.
They're all fusion cameras, which means that you're actually going to have a sort of a panoply of zoom options, because every one of those stops has a halfway center crop optical, non-digital zoom too. So there's a lot of options there, and it means that your macros are going to be better.
I'm very intrigued to see what that whole range of zoom options is going to feel like in use? Like, I mean, is it too many? Like, what is that going to feel like? Like, how is it going to operate? Am I going to feel like I'm scrolling a bunch of stuff? Like, it's going to be intriguing to me to see. I'm also like, you mentioned this has been a bugbear of mine for a while. The macro mode that was brought in when they went to the 48 megapixel sensor, because the distance for sharpness, there's a better term for this. Like when you get close to
focal
a subject, the focal distance changed when they went to the 48 megapixel lens, and it meant that if you were super close, it would switch automatically to the ultra wide, so it could get like a macro like shot of something. But the quality difference in that image was so stark and would result in much worse images when things were close up. And I take pictures of a lot of things close up. So I'm very pleased to see an increase. My expectation is it will make these images better. The thing that I am most keen about is understanding just how much better. Like, how close are they now? And that's very exciting to me to try that out.
This is a year to really pay attention, even more than usual, to the iPhone camera reviews that you get from those really impressive photography people, because you've got the 348 megapixels. What does that do for that new 48 megapixel camera? How does it affect wide? How does it affect macro? What is that interface like for the 8 Pro lenses in your pocket? I imagine it's similar to what they have now, where there's sort of like little snap stops. If you slide to zoom, it'll do little snap stops at the ideal point, and then it'll go past if you want it to. But yeah, very impressive. And then they also threw in all of the like little filmmaker section where they're like, what? And I thought addressed some of the criticisms that people have. They showed the rigs that people use for shooting with iPhone, which everybody's like, oh, I can't believe why would you even put an iPhone in there? And they actually said, well, you can have big, you can have small. Filmmakers love it because they like being less encumbered and being able to get closer to their subjects, which is like them saying this is why pros use iPhone. And then they threw in, they've got Genlock and ProRes RAW capture on device. And, there's a new Blackmagic Camera Pro dock. And there's basically like, there are features in here that the pros will flip out over if they're filmmakers. And that's still a part of Apple's message with this device. So they get all that in there. I also, just to go back on the back with ceramic shield, I just wanted to mention the continuing ratcheting up of the toughness of the iPhone. That this is 4 times more resistant, again, whatever that means, where that came from, to cracks. So the idea that you've got on the back, you've got a much stronger ceramic shield back there. And then also the front, there's no matte option, but there's a 7-layer anti-reflective coating that makes it more readable. I think that's improved in some way. I think Apple's goal is, for the iPhone especially, that everybody should not have glare, right? It's not necessarily a feature where you can pay extra to get the screen that doesn't have glare, but that everybody should not have glare. So they're still headed down that route.
I'll say as well, from the idea of durability and making the majority of the back of this phone aluminium again will decrease the amount of repairs needed on iPhones, right? That, like, in some of its impact points, it's less likely to shatter, because if it lands on the corners, it's mostly going to be dealing with aluminium. Like, it's I think that is a good thing. And I'll just say, I've got this tab open, Jason. I love the way this phone looks. I was really hoping for the two-tone look. It'd come up earlier in the rumor cycle, and then it kind of shifted away over time. Because the case manufacturers, they only need the specs. They don't the sizes. So like a lot of the dummy models,
they don't know what the colors are going to look like.
They have no idea, right? But just the two-tone look looks fantastic on all of them. Like in the blue, it's the most understated, but that looks nice because it's a bit stealthy. And the orange, it just looks great because the orange looks great. And then on the silver, it kind of gives me NASA vibes, like kind of silver and like a lighter silver, like a white, like kind of spacesuity. Like, I just think this phone looks fantastic, and I'm already used to, like, just from seeing images, mock-ups for the last few months, the edge to edge kind of like iconic Plateau. It just looks. To me, this looks like a great phone. I'm really I am really excited about this. My enthusiasm for the 17 Pro is much more than I expected from the phone this year. Like, I think that the overall package looks really good. The cameras, it's all what we were hoping for and stuff we were expecting. The thermal system, the design, and the durability and the battery life. Like, this is I think is a very solid upgrade for people, even on the year-over-year. People on year-over-year like me and you.
Yeah, this is it feels like a bigger one than I expected, like I said earlier. And that having the unibody aluminum, that's going to look, I think in practice, it's going to look striking, because it's not just the Plateau, but it's the fact that it's all of a piece, that the whole way around from the sides and the back up to the Plateau, it's all one piece. And that, I think that's really going to look different and interesting. And then and orange.
Do you have anything else on the Pro? Should we touch on the 17 real quick?
Want to talk about tech woven?
I have a whole thing about cases I want to get to in a minute.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
Let's talk at once.
All right. Well, let's talk about the base 17. Like, the base 17 exists, and a lot of people buy it, and it's got a good price. And they did a bunch of nice updates, right? Like ProMotion, and with the adjustable frame rate, which also means that there's battery savings. They finally bring that to the non-Pro phones. And it's bright, 3,000 nits, so it's like a really good screen update. They are also using Ceramic Shield 2, update to the A19 non-Pro chip using the most advanced 3nm technology, as they said.
It's the only phone that has the A19 in it, right? Because all the others have got the Pro in there.
Got the Pro,
that would be, I guess, an iPad.
Yeah, a future laptop.
Yeah, we're like speeding through it, but like if we had spoken about the iPhone 17 in the order in which Apple did,
right,
it is a very impressive device, right? Like to underscore what you're saying,
it is.
It getting ProMotion is fantastic. Like this, it's way too late. Like it should have, for the price of the iPhone, they should have been doing more than 60 hertz for a long time. But we're going. It is the full thing, because there was some speculation about would it be a lesser than ProMotion? But no, they've gone the full thing. It's from 1 hertz to 120. That means that you get always on, but you get like live activities and always on, right? Like, so you get these like extra benefits that the other phones have. It has the screen brightness. It has the stronger glass.
Yeah, it's got the new selfie camera, right?
The screen is a bit bigger. Yeah, it had the new selfie camera. It's the first time we saw about that. So like this package, the iPhone 17 package this year, is a really good one. Like
it's a nice update.
It's a very nice phone.
Where do they skimp? They skimp in a few areas. They skimp a little bit on the processor. They skimp a little bit on the rear cameras. But for that, you get it at a lower price, and for a lot of people, like that's perfectly good enough. And yeah, big update with ProMotion and always on. That's like a huge step forward.
And it's increased the battery life because of it, right? Because now they have a more efficient screen. It's funny, right? Like even you have an always on display, but because your display is more adaptive and responsive to the things that are happening on it, it means it will offer like quite a substantial, like from the 16 to the 17, again, on the video playback, which is how Apple rates their batteries on all their stuff, it's gone from 22 to 30 hours on that spec from the 16 to the 17. So from most people, upgrading from any of the standard iPhone line, going back further, like 14, 15, something like that, it's going to be a fantastic upgrade. Like, I think, the iPhone, the standard iPhone, it doesn't get all the love that it should get every year, but I think this year is a pretty big jump, because it's got a few features that are significant. Like, it would not have surprised me if the new selfie camera came next year to the iPhone, for example, right? Because that's like a brand new thing. They could have made it a Pro thing or a Pro and an Air
but they
thing,
didn't. But they just imported it into every single iPhone,
which I think is very good, because I think that is. I mean, let's be real, right? Like, kids love selfies. Kids are most likely to get the base iPhone, and so give them the best experience.
And again, I'll just say, selfies is a mainstream thing too. It's not just about kids taking selfies, although the
but
kids
I mean,
certainly
young
do.
People, the younger you are, the more selfies you're likely to take, is what I'm getting at.
Okay,
right? Like there is
fair.
There is a selfie scale. Everyone takes them.
Okay,
I think the younger you are, you take more of them, and the
That's
older you are,
true.
you take less of them.
Okay,
that would be my expectation.
All right.
This episode is brought to you by 1Password. If you're a security or IT professional, you've got a mountain of assets to protect: devices, identities, and applications. It's a lot, and it can create a mountain of security risks. Fortunately, you can conquer that mountain of security risks with 1Password Extended Access Management. Over half of IT pros say securing SaaS apps is their biggest challenge. With the growing problems of SaaS sprawl and shadow IT, it's not hard to see why. Thankfully, Trellica by 1Password can discover and secure access to all your apps, managed or not. Trellica by 1Password inventories every app in use at your company. Then, pre-populated app profiles assess SaaS risks, letting you manage access, optimize spend, and enforce security best practices across every app your employees use. Manage shadow IT, securely onboard and offboard employees, and meet compliance goals. Trellica by 1Password provides a complete solution of SaaS access governance, and it's just one of the ways that extended access management helps teams strengthen compliance and security. Now, while that stuff is not my life, I do not work in a SaaS environment. I am a devoted user of 1Password. I am in 4 1Password team accounts across the various things that I'm involved in, and I could not imagine going anywhere else. I love how easy it is to share passwords with team members. Like I can have someone say to me, hey, can I get the password for the Instagram account? I will move it into the shared vault. They can sign in, and if I want to, I could just move it right back out again. That is fantastic. As somebody who's managing this stuff, I love that kind of stuff. I love how it's in my browsers. I love how it's accessible to me on my phone. I love that I can not only do my passwords, but also my two-factor stuff, my one-time passwords, all in 1Password. I love that it's not just my passwords. I have important documentation in there and other numbers I might need, addresses, credit cards, everything, all available to me wherever I want it. This is why I'm a big fan of 1Password, as you can probably hear. 1Password's award-winning password manager is trusted by millions of users and over 150,000 businesses, from IBM to Slack. And now they're securing more than just passwords with 1Password Extended Access Management. Plus, it's ISO 27001 certified with regular third-party audits and the industry's largest bug bounty. It exceeds the standards set by various authorities and is a leader in security. Take the first step to better security for your team by securing credentials and protecting every application, even unmanaged shadow IT. Learn more at onepassword.com/upgrade. That's onepassword.com/upgrade, all lowercase. Our thanks to 1Password for their support of this show and Relay. I promised you we would talk about iPhone cases. Let's talk about iPhone cases. So there's a bunch of things going on. Tech woven is one of them. I don't really know. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, what is it? Couldn't tell.
Well, we'll just have to see. My colleague Dan Morin points out that there's still a fine woven wallet. Like, we got to move these wallets. Yeah. We got a lot of fine woven left over. But the case is tech woven, which is, again, it's a synthetic yarn woven together in 2 tones for a sophisticated look, they say, and has a coating.
What is sophisticated about that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't like the colors, though, Jason. It
has a coating.
They didn't do a great job on the colors here, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan.
All right. Well, I'm curious to feel what they're like and to see how they are in use, but I remain skeptical. So
yeah, me too. I mean, this is the thing, right? This is what we're saying. We never had a skepticism about iPhone cases.
No.
Now we do.
Now we do.
I think they explicitly called out the fact that it has a coating to prevent against scratches.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is the whole problem with fine woven.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
They have clear and silicone cases, and all of these cases have a lanyard hole because they have a crossbody strap.
Right.
So are you, I don't remember if we spoke about this, but are you familiar with this trend, the crossbody strap trend for phones, like phone wearing? Have you seen
Not
this?
even a little bit, no.
This is a thing. Like, this is a thing. I see it a lot in London. I get the idea that it happens a lot in cities now. And, like, a lot of the way that these things work is, like, you have to have, like, a case, and it plugs into the USB-C port in some of them and has this, like, extension, so it, like, holds into a case. Sometimes these things are built into cases. Sometimes you need a specific case that has lanyard straps, like, you know, like the little hook and, like, the hole in it. Apple has built their own and it is lanyard, and it's got magnets and all this kind of stuff. I'm intrigued to see exactly how it works. I can't yet get my head around it from looking at the imagery that they have. So yeah, I'm not surprised they have done this because of how popular it is. What I am surprised about is that the lanyard holes are on every single case now, like whether you want that or not. That is interesting to me.
That is interesting. Yeah, we'll see. They are, I think, trying to get on. Again, Apple looks at it and says, hey, people are making money on iPhone accessories. Maybe we should make it easier to have those accessories and make them ourselves and and make even more money that way. So here they are. I think it says something about, I'm going to leave the sociology of this, I guess, to others, other than to say that I think it's interesting that our phones are so important to us that some people would prefer to kind of just have the phone attached to us where it's always accessible. And I'm not judging that. I'm saying that that's kind of what's going on here is, look, I need my phone with me and I need it accessible, so I'm going to put it on.
Jason, I'm going to save you from the inevitable feedback of some people don't have pockets. This is one of the big reasons that people do this. I know you know this, but I'm saving the feedback for.
Well, I think people often who don't have pockets have a bag with them that they could put it in, but that's what my point is. It's less accessible then, right? You want it more accessible. Exactly. So you want it on your body in a way you can just pick it up and look at it instead of having to tuck it away in a bag.
So there are obviously clear and silicone cases, as there always are. The Air has two specific cases. One is a clear case with a very thin back, right? Because come on, you can make the phone thicker by putting the case on it. What are we doing here? It adds a millimeter.
That still adds a millimeter.
That's thin. That thin. Not great about that. I don't like that. But what they did is what I wanted. They made a bumper, baby.
They made a bumper case.
Let's go. A bumper. Yeah. Jason, I'm going to tell you right now what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Because I guess spoilers here. I'm buying this phone, the Air.
You buying the Air? What color?
I don't know. Definitely not the gold. I might get the blue. Gold. I might get the blue. And so I need a clean testing device for my work at CrossForward. So I've been doing some stuff preparing for the updates to our apps, and mostly with Widgetsmith, and it has been a nightmare. It has been a nightmare to not have my personal photos show up in the work that I'm doing. So I need a second device.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to get one of these because lucky me. You know what I mean? I have a great reason to get one. And I'm going to buy a bumper case for it, and I'm going to buy a crossbody strap because why not? I'm going to do the whole thing. I'm going to be that guy.
You're going to live that life.
Let's do it. I want to see what happens.
Let's go. We're so back.
Because we are so back, Jason, and I want to be attached to those apps at all times. Let me tell you, they're great apps.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, I'm excited to see people attempt to destroy their tech woven cases and just see how that goes.
I mean, go do what you do. You do you. You do you.
You do you.
Mm-hmm.
AirPods Pro 3. Much bigger update than I expected.
Yeah.
So what I was personally expecting is what you picked, right? Which was there will be some improvements to the noise cancellation and sound, and there'll be improvement, and we'll get the heart rate. But as we mentioned before, the redesign, they put foam in the ear tips. There are 5 ear tip sizes.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on there.
They talked, this is the third time that they've talked to the public about doing research into ear shapes and sizes. Now, I think it's funny because in some ways it suggests that they haven't quite got it right because they keep on trying it. But I appreciate that they keep on trying to express this, that they want everybody to be able to wear AirPods Pro and be comfortable with them, right? Like they want to be able to sell them to everybody. And I still run into people who say, well, I can't wear AirPods Pro. They don't fit my ears. So they're trying. I mean, we'll see. We're going to get, more anecdotes about this. I've never had a problem wearing AirPods Pro, so I'm not the person to decide, but we'll see from people who have had trouble whether this makes a difference. And it's certainly, it's another doubling of whatever they're measuring for noise cancellation, because the 1 to the 2 was a 2x, and so they said now that's a 4x, because that's how that works.
I wonder how much of that is aided by the new ear tips.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably a combination, right? There you want more of a seal, but also they're talking about bringing air in, and that's part of how you do that. And they didn't go into detail of we're sampling the sound at this rate or anything like that, which suggests to me that there are a lot of things that are still the same as the AirPods Pro 2.
Can I read to you something from the website?
Please do.
New ultra-low noise microphones using advanced computational audio to remove more noise around you than ever. So that's one thing that they're talking about. Yeah, and then also they're saying about the soft foam silicone to give you even better acoustic performance.
Yeah, because this is one of the funny things about the AirPods is that they listen on the inside of your ear to hear what sound gets in there, and then they use that to do it. So it's great. I mean, it's a popular product. It's a great product. People really love it, and making it better is a thing they should be doing, right? And so I think this is a great example of that. In reality, I feel like maybe the better audio quality, certainly the better noise cancellation are going to be the biggest things about this. They talked about live translation, which is a feature that was already enabled in the beta firmware and will work on older devices. But that's okay.
Man.
I don't know. I'm skeptical that they can do it. Every tech company wants to do this because it will be so amazing, but it does require you to, hold up your phone in the one example, or have somebody else who has either AirPods like this or has another product that does live translation. But look, I'm skeptical of how useful it is today, but I also do feel fairly positive that we are headed for a world where it will be fairly common and easy to converse with people in other languages using essentially our augmented assistants to translate for us. And that's cool. That's good. But I'm a little skeptical of the utility of this. We'll see.
So with the heart rate monitoring,
yes,
it's also adding a kind of fitness, like workout function to the iPhone.
So what happens here now is that since you've got a heart rate monitor in AirPods Pro, it means that all of these things that are either unlocked or certainly better with a heart rate monitor are more possible for people who are not Apple Watch users. So Apple Fitness, if you do a workout with the AirPods in, you will get your bar and your heart rate and all of those things, your workout effort bar or whatever it's called. And it will also track you, if you do a workout with your phone in your pocket and your AirPods in, and it's going to get your heart rate data and it's able to log that. So it's like, really, they didn't want to say this, but it's like you get access to fitness features without wearing an Apple Watch. That's one of the things that you get here, which is cool.
It doesn't do your green ring though, it's just your move ring, which is interesting to me. Which is odd. But this feature, it's close, but it's not exactly what I personally want. Like one, it's only tracking your heart rate during workouts, and you have to initiate the workout. Now, my hope will be in future versions, both of those things could change. That maybe it would be whenever you're using them, it could be looking at your heart rate like the Apple Watch does, and then with a workout, you're working out, and be like, "Hey, are you working out right now?" Like, there's something about, like, say, walking. Like if I walk for long enough, which I have a decent commute, my Apple Watch would be like, I'll be like 15 minutes in, and it's like, "Hey, are you walking right now?" Now, the AirPods Pro are not going to do that, right? Is my understanding. I'm going to have to tell it I am walking, that is less interesting to me.
Right. But then
as a feature.
Sure, but it will monitor your steps and your heart rate as a part of that workout.
Yes, which is great. Like, that is a great thing to have, but I would prefer for it not to be a thing that is proactive for me. I was valuing the Apple Watch, the reactive nature of that.
It feels like that's a feature that should come at some point, that if you're walking around with an Apple Watch, now that there's an activity feature like this, that it should be able to use the same machine learning that happens on your wrist to say, "You appear to be on a walk. Would you like me to log it? I've been looking at it for a while." My guess is that that's just a thing that they didn't do to ship this product, and that they'll add it later.
It is probably something that requires additional data collection and information over a longer period of time. The same as with the Apple Watch, right? The Apple Watch didn't do automatic detection of workouts initially.
But they're doing
time to do that.
They're doing so much already with the pedometer and everything in there that it feels like it's more just they need to build a model to detect that.
Yeah. Can I tell a quick anecdote? This is not really the episode for anecdotes, but I would like to tell it anyway.
Is it AirPods related?
It is AirPods related, yeah.
Okay.
So it was my mom's birthday, Well, it is going to be my mum's birthday. I love my mum very much, and she doesn't. She's not listening to this, so I don't know why I said that, but I do. I love my mum very much. I miss her birthday every year because I'm in Memphis. My mom's birthday, I miss it every single year. So I always try and give her an early birthday, which is really good. I go extra hard for her birthday. And this year I bought her some AirPods 4. So my mum, not really. I never really would have imagined her as somebody that would care about AirPods, but she was. She takes the bus to work, and she was finding it frustrating. The noise was frustrating her, so I gave her maybe a year, 18 months ago, maybe a little bit longer, an original set of AirPods that I had. Like, just it's like, rather than me buying you, try this, see what you think about it. So I gave her some original AirPods, and she really liked them. And I was like, right, at some point, I'm going to get her another set, but I was a bit stuck because I didn't think she would like AirPods Pro. I don't think that she would like the feeling of like them going in the ear. I think that would be a bit of a hurdle for her. And so I was like, I've only heard good things about the AirPods 4, so I got her the AirPods 4, and we went through the whole thing. She finds noise cancellation incredible. I basically set her up and said, you are on a thing called adaptive. You don't need to change it, I don't think, but this is how you do that. She understands how to do it, and it makes sense to her. And, we're going through all the features, and she loved it. She called me the next day, and she was like, I love these things so much. Something you didn't tell me that I was not prepared for is how incredible they sound. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about this. You went from AirPods to AirPods 4? That is a huge jump. And it wasn't really something that I would have thought necessarily that she would notice. But there are a few things. Obviously, the quality, but the volume is better because those things are old, right? So they're kind of worn out. But yeah, it made me happy, like to give her these things. But that was, and it's a cool feature. These are AirPods are really nice, but I'm obviously an AirPods Pro boy, and I'm looking forward to these. Yeah. I think they're good, and my AirPods. I will always update AirPods because any improvement to that product is worth it because it's such an incredible product. I use it every day.
Yeah, same. I use it so much that I would increase battery life. I think I'm going to call out to 8 hours of noise canceling. And for people using the hearing aid feature, they called out it's up from 6 to 10 hours of transparency with hearing aid enabled, which is also pretty great. So
yeah, AirPods is like, okay, great. I never think about the battery life. Like the amount of times in which I am pushing AirPods battery life is incredibly rare.
It's
and
long.
They charge so fast.
Yeah, it's long flights, but even then, I usually make a point. I mean, maybe this is me being trained, knowing that they're gonna go down, but I make a point of taking breaks. I'm talking to somebody, ordering dinner on a transatlantic flight or whatever it is, or just need a break from listening to something and having things in my ears, and I pop them in the case, and then 15 minutes later I can pop them back in and they're charged again. So, but it is. I see the point here of saying that you could go on that transatlantic flight now, and they will just work the whole way, which is great. Great, because what you want is not necessarily say, oh man, I really need 8 hours. What you want is never to have to worry about it.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Going online without ExpressVPN, it's a bit like having no case for your phone. Most of the time, you'll probably be fine, but all it takes is one bad drop, and you'll wish you had spent those few extra dollars on that case for your new phone. When you connect to an unencrypted network in cafes, hotels, airports, and the like, your online data isn't secure. Someone on the same network could gain access to your personal information, your passwords, your bank logins, your credit card details, other things you wouldn't want in someone else's hands. ExpressVPN stops hackers from stealing your data by creating a secure, encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. There are loads of reasons to choose ExpressVPN over other VPNs. It's super secure. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. It's easy to use. You just fire up the app and click one button and you're protected. And it works on all of your devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go. And it's been rated #1 by top tech reviewers like CNET and The Verge. I'm getting ready to travel here towards the end of the week, going out to Memphis for the podcast-a-thon. This is when I will be using ExpressVPN the most. Whenever I travel, I'm connecting to free Wi-Fi, which I love, different places, but I don't control that Wi-Fi, and I would like that peace of mind, and that is what ExpressVPN gives me. And it also allows me to catch up on my content that I'm watching at home, but when I'm abroad, by being able to change my location, I can say like, hey, I'm in the UK, and just reload the service that I'm watching, and I can carry on where I left off. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/upgrade. That's expressvpn.com/upgrade to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months of ExpressVPN for free. That is expressvpn.com/upgrade. Our thanks to ExpressVPN for their support of this show and Relay. So let's finish out by talking about the Apple Watch. So the entire lineup received updates of varying degrees. Let's start with the SE3 because it'll be the quickest to blaze through. It got the S10 chip, which includes 5G. I don't know why the Apple Watch needs 5G. I guess at some point it has to have it.
I think what they said too is it's more. I mean, it's more about there are 5G. Right, it's more connectivity. You can see now. If you're in an area that maybe didn't have great connectivity on LTE, it'll see the 5G and it's got that. So it's just giving you more connectivity, even if like you don't need it to be super fast. It's just giving you more availability and probably in the long run something more than that.
It's like I guess, but like I just, it just doesn't really feel like much of a selling point to me. But you do you. Adds temperature sensor, always on, and faster charging. So I always want more out of the SE than Apple want to give me. I want them to do something fun with this product, but here we are. It exists as a product in the lineup, still at $249.
Look, the SE getting always on and getting those gestures, like that's all. I mean, it's nice. It's got extra stuff. It doesn't feel quite as far behind as it did before.
Yep.
And that's the purpose of it, is to be cheaper and but yet not feel super far behind. Always on display on a $249 watch. It's good.
When they started talking about the Series 11, I was like, oh, I didn't think about this product. I forgot about it. Like that obviously there needs to be a new Apple Watch and it has to have something in it. Like I just obviously been focused on the Ultra 3 getting an update, but like obviously they need to update the Series 11 too. It also has 5G. It has ceramic shield too, so it's 2 times more scratch resistant. It does the high blood pressure stuff, which is the hypertension detection. It's kind of like sleep apnea detection, where it has an algorithm. It's running in the background, and they can let you know if they've seen any events.
This is what I said earlier, that it on one level, it's really just, isn't it nice to do these studies and to have all this data? Because what they are able to do now with their studies is infer other medical conditions possibly existing based on the readouts on their sensors. And that's huge, right? Because you're like, well, can you detect sleep apnea only with motion sensors? And they say yes, you can. And can you detect high blood pressure from just the heart rate monitor that you've been using? And the answer is yes, they believe you can, or at least to a degree of certainty that they'll tell you should talk to your doctor. And that is the whole promise of the Apple Watch. And it's a huge tactical advantage that Apple has in having all these sensors out there, having people enroll in these studies where they're able to share their data and then fill out like what conditions do you have and all of those things, and then be able to build models, machine learning models from there that can analyze your data and pull signal out of the noise. It's very impressive.
Up to 24 hours battery life is nice. That's a nice increase to find more battery life in the Apple Watch.
Especially if they want you to wear it when you sleep, which they do. Yeah. If you only have one time a day where you charge your Apple Watch, if you can truly get through 24 hours, and it's probably not quite that, but like if you can the more you can get to that where it's a once a day thing and you wear it all day, the better for them, because they do want you to wear it all day.
Yep. And titanium remains as a material in the lineup, also in the Apple Watch.
In the Apple Watch
Series 11. And it's got the Sleep Score thing, $399. Solid. Fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Solid update. Oh, it has new watch faces. There's a liquid glass watch face and an exactograph watch face.
Yeah. There's always some new watch faces, aren't there?
Yeah, there has to be. The Ultra 3 also got a watch face, a waypoint face, which looked interesting. But the Ultra 3 is much more of an update. Bigger screen. It kept the design, though. It didn't do what I expected. I was expecting them to kind of like bring out the screen a bit to kind of flatten off the edges a bit more, but they didn't do that. But the screen is bigger and it's brighter. It's now it now has the newer display technology, so it shows ticking seconds, which is a thing that was in the 10, wasn't it?
Yes.
They had that where it did
yeah,
that
and
for the
and
first
they
time.
and in watchOS 26, many more watch faces have been updated to do the ticking seconds. Not
Which
all,
is
but many
fantastic.
more. So it's good.
The Ultra 3 is the first Apple Watch to get satellite communication.
Right. Now, did you notice the details here are interesting? It's 2 years of SOS free with the Ultra 3. We still are unclear what happens when you run out of time with a satellite feature because they kept kicking it down the road. And I still wonder, are they going to, are they really going to not let you do an SOS because you didn't pay them or what? Yeah. We'll have to see. But they say that. And then they said, also you can do messages in Find My, but they say messages in Find My requires a cellular plan, which
I don't understand.
I don't know.
Like if it's doing it by satellite, why do you need a cellular plan?
Right? I don't know.
What is going on there?
Right, because every Ultra is cellular, but they don't have to have a plan on it. They're just capable of it. But why would you tie it in unless you're doing something where it's like your infrastructure is based on the phone number on the watch or something? Because it's got a number, even though you can't call it, I guess, because all cellular devices do. There's a lot of questions. This is in my questions to ask category about this product.
Yeah. Something that I'm trying to work out, I'm looking at the page now, is if these features are available in more territories yet.
Yeah, that I also don't know. It's in some, but how many is it? The use case question I think is worth asking too, which is if you've got a phone and it does satellite, why would you use a watch? And they actually had one case in their Apple Watch video where they talked about people who had lost the snow had covered their phones and they didn't know where their phones were, but they were able to use their watch to call for help. Unclear whether the watch was talking to the phone or whether the watch was a cellular watch that was talking to the network itself. But I think it's that same point, which is you may have your phone with you. You may not. I would say also it may be that with this thing, if your watch is on your wrist, which means it can see the sky. If your phone gets lost or is in a bag or something and you need to call for help, your watch is right on your wrist there. So maybe that will matter. I think there are some use cases. It's not quite as revolutionary as putting it on the phone, but I think it's still for the Ultra especially makes sense. It's part of the brand promise of being rugged out in the middle of nowhere.
Yep. Up to 42 hours of battery life, which is a lot of battery life.
A lot. It's a lot.
Especially for the people who are on the Ultra One who have degrading batteries, they're going to have a great time when they move over to this one. I don't really have a lot to say. I think about this. I would say like the starting with the video of the saved lives again made me feel guilty for not wearing an Apple Watch, which I think is kind of the point.
Yeah. I mean, your iPhone has fall and crash detection, so you'll be okay. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, but there's other stuff going on.
There is.
And they're like, people are having their lives saved left, right, and center. It's like, but I'm happy not to be wearing an Apple Watch right now. That's how I feel. But yeah, it's solid upgrade. At least I upgraded it. Like I think the Apple Watch Ultra is unsure what was going to be happening with that thing in the long term after the addition of the black one, as opposed to having any more updates. So it's cool. It's cool that it's there. Do you have anything more on the Apple Watch?
I don't think so. Other than to point out that every time I see that the Ultra 3 costs $799, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money for an Apple. I know they start at $399 for the Series 11, but then if you want the bigger one, it goes up from there and it just rapidly increases. But I'm just reminded, like, $799 Apple Watch. Again, Apple is really good at making money off of selling products, and one of the ways that they do that, and especially Tim Cook's era, Apple does that, is by offering a spread of products so you can get in for a reasonable amount of money. But like if you want the really nicest, best thing and money is no object, they're happy to take your money up above, up at $800+ for an Ultra.
Do you have any closing thoughts on the event? We covered it all now. We did it.
Wow. I would say obviously this is a quick reaction because we just came out of the event. So there's much more to
Luckily, there's an
glean,
episode
right?
next week, Jason.
There is. We do this
one.
every week.
Yeah.
So there's more to glean, and I think more things will come out. The way this generally works is there's things to glean off the web pages that we maybe didn't see. Things come out. So some people will get briefings, and some of the briefings will be on the record about the products, because usually what you do is you get a briefing about the factual record of the product, and then you might get embargoed on the review, but your briefing about factual stuff is not generally embargoed. So there are people who will talk to Apple today and maybe tomorrow who will get some interesting questions answered that maybe we don't know the answers to right now. And then and that'll all solidify. We've done this long enough now that we know what the week after the iPhone event episode of Upgrade is, which is a lot of little details that might not have been noticed or might not have been known that kind of leak out over the course of the next week. But, leaving that aside for a second, I would just say, to come back to my statement at the beginning, this is, I think I got good vibes from this event. I think the iPhone 17 Pro is a bigger upgrade in a bunch of ways than I expected, especially that it looks different, and that unibody aluminum approach for it is really interesting, and it comes in actual color, so that's exciting. And then the Air, I want to touch it, I want to feel what that feels like, because it also looks super interesting to me. I'm very intrigued by that, and I don't know how it will do. I don't know how it will do, but I love that Apple is trying this for two reasons. I love that Apple's trying this because, look, they are obviously not satisfied with the Mini or the Plus as a phone, and this certainly feels more differentiated. So maybe people will opt for it because it's so thin and cool looking and different, even if it's a little bit lesser.
Yeah.
And I also love it for the same reason that's been hovering out there since this product was first announced, first rumored, which is also feels like they are pointing their way to a folding iPhone, which would be next year. So I like that this is Apple really doing something very aggressive with the iPhone design for the first time in a little bit. And I think that that's interesting. Plus the fact that the Pro is is more different than I expected. So I think those are the key things. And then the Apple Watch updates and a new AirPods Pro is going to be really big. I think it's a good event, right? I think it did what it needed to do, and now it's like when the attorneys rest in a case and then it goes to the jury.
Yeah.
Basically, now it's in the hands of us. And I don't mean us in the media. I mean us as people who receive these products. Apple has had their moment and will have for the next little bit to frame these products for us. The next step is going to be we use them and judge them and see how people react positively and negatively. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to get my hands on them.
Yeah, I would say Tim kind of framed this as like one of the biggest years, and they always say these things and you're like, okay, but this lineup of iPhone is significant. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. We have a whole new iPhone that didn't exist before.
Yeah.
The Pro phones have a brand new design. Like that is you cannot miss it. That phone looks different, which is always a big deal when that happens. And there's just across the entire lineup, significant benefits for even if you upgraded your phone last year. Like if you upgraded your phone last year, whatever you upgrade your phone to this year, if you decide to do that, you're going to notice a difference. Where if you upgraded from the 15 to the 16 on any of those, you may not know about it because like that was small. And the biggest change was camera control, which kind of ended up being a bit of a and who knows, there might be things in this devices we don't know yet, right, where we go, you know what, that's not so great now that we use it. But on the face of it, this looks like a very, very solid set of upgrades, and I think people are going to be really happy with these phones. That's my hot take. That's my out there bet, Jason, is people are going to like these iPhones.
Amazing, a popular product.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine it? If you would like to send us your feedback, follow-up, and questions, go to upgradefeedback.com. Specifically, Upgrade Plus questions. You've got questions about these phones. You want us to get our opinions. Maybe you have opinions you want to share with us. Send them in at upgradefeedback.com. Thank you to our members who support us with Upgrade Plus. Go to getupgradeplus.com. You'll get longer ad-free versions of the show each and every week. You can find us on YouTube by searching for the Upgrade Podcast. Don't forget, go to stjude.org/relay, where you can join us in supporting the wonderful institution of St Jude Children's Research Hospital. Please go and find out more at stjude.org/relay. I would like to thank our sponsors for this week. That is ExpressVPN, 1Password, Oracle, and Fitbod. But most of all, thank you for listening, and we'll be back next time. Until then, say goodbye, Jason Snell.
Goodbye, Jason Snell.
Oh, that was a special one.